Go back and listen again. That this heart might receive. But it's full of grace. Whisper, whisper, whisper in my tell me words I thought I'd never hear. Show me, show me, show me what you see. Illuminate what's right. Sometimes I'm scared to take it in. That you lie in front of me. Tell me words I thought I'd never hear. Show me, show me, show me what you see. Name what's right. Would you whisper in my ear? And if I'm in my life, and like a garden, your words begin to grow. My faith is prone to fear. Remind me of your love. Remind me that you never. Remind me. Remind me. Remind me, oh, remind me of your love.
Go. Are you ready for something different? Okay. Okay.
I, Luke, sent a message to all those who follow our Lord Jesus.
All right. So.
No, you are.
So. Take that. Okay, so now.
No. Zayden's going to give you a noisy thing.
Okay, John says keep talking.
Okay,
John,
he's going to tell you when to do it, okay? They're on the counter. Can you see them?
Okay, John, can you hear us talking?
Yeah. Both packages.
He'll text me. He'll text me and tell me if he's hearing it. The one skipping in and out.
It takes like 30 seconds. It's like 30 seconds.
Yeah. So what we're gonna do?
Okay, now listen to Grandpa. What we're gonna do? You can tap them out.
Okay, I can hear you, John says. We're setting good.
Yeah.
So what we're gonna do?
Yep.
Pass out all the noisemakers. So today is the first day of a 2-day celebration called the Feast of something. The Feast of Purim. The Feast of Purim. Are you guys listening?
You listening to Grandpa later?
Everybody's getting a noisemaker. Turn around, Marty. Do they make noise or they just blow bubbles?
No, it said that they were noisemakers. That's what it says on the package, noisemakers.
Well, not exactly sure what's going on here.
Okay. Everyone stop.
Okay, everybody come and sit down.
Listen. No.
Everybody come sit down.
Here's Andy. I'm gonna get one. Yours are. That's because he's a big kid. So, you'll get one? I want one that aren't going.
Okay.
So give Olivia one.
So here's what we're doing.
Olivia.
Pull that cord back.
Okay, listen to Grandpa.
All right.
Okay, no blowing. Listen to Grandpa. Everybody stop blowing and listen to Grandpa.
All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to read a story out of the Bible, okay? We're going to read about a story called Esther. Hey, don't blow.
It's Eli.
Okay. Now, in the story of Esther, there's an evil guy named Haman, and there's a good guy named Mordecai.
Which one's the evil guy? Haman.
Haman.
And Mordecai's the good guy.
And Mordecai's the good guy. Okay? So, I'm going to read a story out of the Bible. And every time I say the name Haman, we're all going to say, boo! And we're going to blow the noisemakers. Okay? And every time I say the name Mordecai, we're going to say, yay! And blow the noisemakers.
Okay?
Okay?
Haman, Mordecai's yes.
Okay? Now listen to the story. Here we go. Here's the story, okay? Now, in the days of Ashurus, the Ashurus who reigned from India to Ethiopia, over 127 provinces. In those days, when King Ahasuerus sat on his royal throne in Susa, the capital, in the 3rd year of his reign, he gave a feast for all his officials and all his servants. The army of Persia and Media and the nobles and governors of the provinces were before him, while he showed the riches of his royalty glory and the splendor and pomp of his greatness for many days, 180 days. So this guy, this king, he wanted to show everybody how much power he had and how much money he had. He wanted to brag about how much stuff he had in this world, okay? He wanted everybody in the whole country to know how much money he had and how powerful he was and all his nice stuff. So he had a party, invited all his friends, and the party went on for 6 months, a half a year. Can you imagine that? A party went on for a whole half a year. And the whole time he was just showing off. He was showing off all his gold and all his silver. Okay? And when these days were completed, the king gave for all the people present in Susa, the capital, both great and small, a feast lasting 7 days in the court of the garden of the king's palace. There were white cotton curtains and violet hanging fastened with cords of fine linen and purple to silver rods and marble pillars, and also couches of gold and silver on a mosaic pavement of profilate marble, mother of pearl, and precious stones. So they decorated this very fancy. They used lots and lots and lots of money to decorate this. Drinks were served in golden vessels, so all their glasses were made out of pure gold. So everything that they had to drink, they drank out of glasses that were made from pure gold. Vessels of different kinds, and the royal wine was lavished according to the bounty of the king. And drinking was according to the edict. There was no compulsion. In other words, they got drunk. For the king had given orders to all the staff in his palace to do as each man desired. There you go. That was the parties that they had. He said to every man, do as you desire. Queen Veshla also gave a feast for the women in the palace that belonged to King Ahasuerus. On the 7th day, when the heart of the king was merry with wine, in other words, he was drunk, he commanded Melhemam, Biztha, Harbono, Bigtha, and Abagtha, Sether, and Carcass, the 7 eunuchs who served in the presence of the king Ahasuerus, to bring Queen Vashti before the king with her royal crown, in order to show the people and the princesses her beauty, for she was lovely to look at. So the king had a wife that was very, very hot. Okay? And he wanted to show all the guys his hot wife.
Pretty. Yeah.
Oh, pretty. Okay. Well, pretty. Okay, so the king had a pretty wife. Pretty hot wife. And so he wanted to show everybody his hot wife, his pretty wife. Pretty hot wife. So he told one of the servants, bring my wife to me. But she wouldn't come. She says, "You're a drunk old filthy man, and I'm not coming to you." You know that? Okay, so refused to come at the king's command delivered by the eunuchs. At this, the king became angry, and his anger burned within him. He was mad at his wife because she wouldn't listen to him. Then the king said to the wise men who knew the times, for this was the king's procurator toward all who were versed in law. Spelled that word wrong. In the law of judgment. The men next to him being Tarzian, Sether, Admatha, Tarshish, Meres, Mersina, and Memucan, the 7 princes of Persia and Media, who saw the king's face and sat first in the kingdom. According to the law which had been done to Queen Vashti, according to the law, what is being done to Queen Vashti, because he had not performed the command of the king Ahasuerus delivered by the eunuchs. Then Memucan said in the presence of the king and the officials, not only against the king has Queen Vashti done wrong, but also against the officials and all the people who were in the province of King Ahasuerus. For the queen's behavior, he says, will be made known to all women, causing them to look at their husbands with contempt, since they will say, King Ahasuerus commanded Queen Vashti to be brought before him, and she did not come. This very day, the noblewomen of Persia and Media, who have heard of the queen's behavior, will say the same to the king's officials, and there will be contempt and wrath and plenty. So basically, the guy said, look, your wife is a public figure. You give her an order, and she didn't obey it. So that's going to set the precedent so that everybody in the whole kingdom or every wife will say the same to their husband. Well, if she don't obey the king, then why should we obey our husbands? And that would be a bad thing to happen in our life. Well, it would be, Casey. Yeah, it would be. We can't get them women to listen to us, then we're in trouble. That's all I got to say about it. So, verse 19. If it pleases the king, let the royal order go out from him, and let it be written among the laws of the Persians and the Medes, so that it may not be repealed, that Vashti it never come back before King Ahasuerus. And let the king give her royal position to another who is better than she. So when the decree made by the king is proclaimed throughout all his kingdom, for it is vast, all women will honor their husbands, high and low alike. And the world will be back in order, where it's supposed to be. Oh, and sorry.
I think somebody else should be reading it.
Sorry, I read that part. Well,
I don't mind this version.
Yeah. This is the rich version.
Yeah.
So, this advice pleased the king and the princesses, and the king did as Memucan proposed. He sent letters to all the royal provinces, to every province in its own script, and every people in its own language, that every man be a master in his own household and speak according to the language of his people. That every man be a master in his own household and speak according to the language of his people. We're getting closer. We're getting closer. We gotta get set for the story. It's coming. I'll let you know. We're getting closer. After these things, when the anger of the king Ahasuerus had abated, he remembered Vashti and what she had done and what had been decreed against her. Then the king's young men who attended him said, let beautiful young virgins be sought for the king, and let the king appoint officers in all the provinces of the kingdom to gather all the beautiful young virgins to the harem of Susa, the capital, under custody of Hagar, the king's eunuch, who is in charge of the women. Let their cosmetics be given them, and let the young woman who pleased the king be queen instead of Vashti. This pleased the king, and he did so. Now there was a Jew in Susa, the citadel, whose name was Mordecai.
Mordecai!
All right, the son of Jar, son of Shimeon, son of Kish, and Benjamin, who had been carried away from Jerusalem among the captives, carried away with Jeconiah, king of Judah, who Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, had carried away. He was bringing up Haddish, that is Esther, the daughter of his uncle, for she had neither father nor mother. The young woman had a beautiful figure and was lovely. She was hot. She had a beautiful figure and she was lovely to look at. Hey, don't do it now. Look at it. When her father and mother had died, Mordecai took her as his own daughter. So when the king's order and it was proclaimed, and when many young women were gathered to Susa, the citadel, the custody of Hagar, Esther also was taken into the king's palace and put in custody with Hagar, who had been charged of the woman.
Grandpa, he said you said the Mordecai.
No, I never said Mordecai. No, I never said Mordecai. Oh, I did.
I did.
Yay!
Somebody's listening.
There we go. No. Okay. All right, so where are we at? And the young woman pleased him, won his favor, and he quickly provided her with cosmetics and her portion of food with 7 chosen young women from the king's palace, and advanced her, a young woman, so that the best place in the harem. Esther had not made known her people or kindred, for Mordecai. Had commanded her not to make her known. And every day Mordecai walked in front of the court of harem to learn how Esther. Happened to her. Now, when the turn came for me to get married, after being 12 months and under the regulations of the people, since there was a regular period for beautifying, 6 months with mirrors, 6 months with spices and ointments for women. When the young woman went to the king, as it was, she was given whatever she desired to take with her from the harem of the king's palace. In the evening, she would go in, and in the morning, she would return to the second harem of custody. No, not there. The king's eunuch, who was in charge of the concubines. She would not go to the king again unless the king delighted in her, and she was summoned by him. For when the turn came for Esther, the daughter of Abedel, the uncle of Mordecai, who had taken her of his own daughter to go to the king, she asked for nothing except what Hagar, the king's eunuch, who was in charge of the women, advised. Now Esther was winning favor in the eyes of all who saw her. And when Esther was taken to King Ahasuerus into his royal palace on the 10th month, which is the month of Tebeth, in the 7th year of the reign, the king loved Esther more than any of the other women, and she won grace and favor in his sight more than the other virgins, so to be set in a royal crown on her head and made a queen instead of Vashti. Then the king gave a great feast for all the officials and servants. It was Esther's feast. He also granted a remission of taxes to the province and gave gifts of royal generosity. Now, when the virgins were gathered together the second time, Mordecai sitting at the same gate. Esther had not made known her kindred or her people as Mordecai. And he thinks that Mordecai who guarded the threshold became angry and sought to lay hands on King Ezra. And this time, it came to the knowledge of Mordecai. When the affair was investigated from the no, it was recorded in the book of Chronicles. After these things, King Ahasuerus summoned Haman. The Agagite, the son of Hamileth, that is thrown above all servants who were with him. And all king's servants who were with him were at the king's gate bowed down and paid homage to Haman. For the king had so concerning him. But Mordecai did not bow down or pay homage. Then the king, who were all the king's gate, said to Mordecai, Mordecai! Why do you transgress the king's command? And when they spoke to him the day after day, he would not listen to them. They told Haman, in order to see whether Mordecai with that, and Haman Mordecai it's still a theory. But he gets it, he's just to lay hands on Mordecai. So, as they had made known to the people, the opinion of the people of Mordecai, in the first month, which is the month of April, in the 12th year of King Ahasuerus, they cast fear. That is, they cast lot before Haman, day after day, and they cast a month after month until the 12th month, which was the month of Adar. Then Haman said to King Ahasuerus, there is a certain people scattered abroad and dispersed among the people in all provinces of the kingdom. Their laws are different from those of every other people, and they do not keep the king's laws. So that it is not to the king's profit to tolerate them. If it please the king, let it be decreed that they be destroyed. I will pay 10,000 tons of silver into the hands of those who have charge in the king's business, that they may put it into the king's treasury. So the king took his signet ring from his hand and gave it to Haman, the son of Hamileth, the enemy of the Jews. And the king said to Haman, blow the noise makers! You got to drown out that name. The money I've given you, the people also, to do with them as they seem good. Then the king's scribes were summoned on the 13th day of the first month, and elect according to all Haman commanded was written in the king's satrap, and the governors over the provinces of all people, whoever province his own script and every people's own language. It was written in the name of King Azariah and sealed with the king's signature. Letters were sent by couriers to all the king's provinces with instructions to destroy, to kill, to annihilate all Jews, young and old, women and children, in that one day, the 13th day of the 12th month, which is the month of Adar, and plunder their goods. A copy of the document was to be issued as a decree to every province and proclamation to all the people to be ready for that day. The couriers went out hurriedly by order of the king, and the decree was issued in Susa, in Fidel. And the king and Haman sat down to drink. There you go. Sat down to drink, but the city of Susa was thrown into confusion. When Mordecai learned all that had been done, Mordecai and went out into the midst of the city, and they carried a loud and bitter cry. He went up to the entrance of the king's gate, where no one was allowed to enter the king's gate, while he sat on. In every province where the king commanded, and he decreed his decree. And there was great mourning amongst the Jews, fasting and weeping and lamenting, and many of them lay in sackcloth and ashes. When Esther's young women and her eunuchs came and told her, the queen was deeply distressed. She sent garments of clothes to Mordecai, so that he might take off the sackcloth, but he would not accept them. And Esther called first Hathach, one of the king's eunuchs, who had been appointed to attend her, and ordered him to go to Mordecai to learn what this was and why it was. Hathach went out to Mordecai in the town square of the city in front of the king's gate. And Mordecai told him all that had happened to him and the exact sum of the money that Haman Mordecai also gave him a copy of the written decree issued in Susa for their instructions, that he might show it to Esther and explain it to her, and command her to go to the king to beg his favor and plead with him on behalf of the people. And Hathach went and told Esther what Mordecai had said. And Esther spoke to Hathach and commanded him to go to Mordecai and say, all of the king's servants and all the people of the king's province know that if any man or woman goes to the king inside the inner court without him being called, there is but one law to be put to death, except the one whom the king holds up the golden scepter so that he might live. But as for me, I have not been called to come to the king these 30 days. And they told Mordecai what Esther said. Then Mordecai told them to reply to Esther, do not think to yourself that the king's will escape you any more than the other two. For if you keep silent at this time, relief and deliverance will rise to the Jews from another place, but you and your father's house will be perish. And who knows whether you have not come to the king for such a time as this. Then Esther told them to reply to Mordecai, go gather all the Jews to be found in Susa and holy fast on my behalf, and do not eat or drink for 3 days, 3 nights, or days. And I and my young woman will also do as you do. Then I will go to the king, though it is against the law, and if I perish, I perish. Mordecai then went away and did everything that Esther had ordered him. On the third day, Esther put on her royal robe and stood in the inner court of the king's house in front of the king's quarters, while the king was sitting on the royal throne inside the throne room opposite the entrance to the house. And when the king saw Queen Esther standing in the court, she wanted favor in his sight, and he held out to Esther the golden scepter that was in his hand. Then Esther approached and touched the tip of the scepter. And the king said to her, what is it, Queen Esther? What is your request? It shall be given to you, even to half my kingdom. And Esther said, if it please the king, let the king and Haman come today to see I have returned to the king. Then the king said, bring Haman quickly so that we may do as Esther asked. So the king and Haman came to the king and Esther, and they were drinking wine at the feast. The king said to Esther, what is your wish? It can be granted to you, and whatever your request, even to half my kingdom, it shall be fulfilled. Then Esther answered, my wish and my request is, if I have found favor in the sight of the king, and if it please the king to grant my wish and fulfill my request, let the king and Haman contemplate things that I will prepare for them, and tomorrow I will do as the king has said. And Haman went out that day joyful and glad in his heart. So when Haman saw Mordecai, that he arose from trouble before him, he was still wrath against Mordecai. Nevertheless, Haman proclaimed himself in all, and he sent and bought his wife Zerubbabel. And Haman recounted to them the splendor of his riches, the number of his sons, and all the promotions which the king had given him, and how he had advanced him above the officials and the servants of the king. Then Haman tomorrow I'm invited to her together with the king. Yet all of this brought nothing to me, so long as I see Mordecai, the Jew, sitting at the king. Then his wife Zerubbabel and all the friends said to him, let a gallows 50 cubits high be made, and in the morning tell the king to have Mordecai hanged upon it. So then they joyfully went to the king. This idea pleased Haman. And he had the gallows made. On that night, the king could not sleep. He ordered to bring the book of the Chronicles, and they were read before the king. It was found written how Mordecai had told about Bethsheba and Tiras, two of the king's eunuchs who guarded their threshold and who thought to lay hands on King Ahasuerus. The king said, what honor or distinction has been bestowed on Mordecai? The king's young men who attended him said nothing had been done for him. And the king said, no. The king said, who is in the court? Now Haman had just entered the court, the outer court of the king's palace, to speak to the king about having Mordecai hanged on the gallows that he be prepared for him. And the king's young men called Haman, he called him Haman, standing in the court, and let him come out. So Haman, the king said to him, what should be done for the man who is life honor? And Haman said to himself, who was the king delight to honor more than me? And Haman said to the king, for the man who the king delights to honor, let one robe be brought him, which the king hath worn, and the horse that the king hath ridden, and our whose heads are rolled down, is set. And let the robes and the horses be handed over to the one that the king most noble with him. Let them dress the man whom the king delights to honor, and let them lead him on the horse across the square of the city, proclaiming before him, thus shall it be done, and the man whom the king delights to honor. Then the king said to Haman, hurry, take the robes and the horse as you have said, and do this to Mordecai the Jew, who sits in the king's gate. Leave out nothing that you have mentioned. So Haman took the robes and the horse, and he dressed Mordecai And led him through the square of the city, proclaiming before him God's then Mordecai returned to the king. But Colonel told his wife, Jerry, and all his friends, everything that happened to him. Then his wise men and his wife said to him, if Mordecai, before whom you have begun to fall, and this good people, you will not overcome him, but will surely fall before him. While they were yet letting talking with him, the king's units arrived and hurried to bring Haman to the feast that Esther had prepared. So the king and Haman went in the feast with Queen Esther. And on the second day, as they were drinking wine after the feast, the king said to Esther, what is your wish, Queen Esther? It shall be granted to you. And what is your request? Even to the half of my kingdom, it shall be fulfilled. Then Queen Esther answered, if I have favor, if I have found favor in your sight, O king, and if it pleases me, let my life be granted me for my wish, and my people for my request. For we have been sold, and I and my people to be destroyed, to be killed, and to be annihilated. If we have been sold purely as slaves to men and women, I would have been silent, for our affliction is not being compared with the loss of the king. When King Azarias said to Queen Esther, who is it? Where is he? And who has dared to do this? And Esther said, a foe and an enemy, this wicked Haman! Then Haman was terrified before the king and the queen. Okay. And the king rose in his wrath from the wine drinking and went in the palace garden, but Haman, that little skirt wearing girl, he begged for his life from Queen. For he saw harm was determined against him by the king. And the king returned from his palace garden to the place where he was drinking wine with Haman. Falling on the couch with Esther, begging like a little schoolgirl. And the king says, well, even the assault of the queen in my presence, in my own house. As the word left the mouth of the king, they covered Haman's face. Then Arbona, one of the eunuchs in attendance on the king, said, moreover, that gallows that Haman had prepared for Mordecai to save the king and standing in Haman, 50 cubits high. And the king said, hang him on it. So they hanged Haman on the gallows. And he had prepared for Mordecai. On that day, King Azarias gave to Queen Esther the house of Haman. And Mordecai came before the king of Esther and told what he was to her. And the king took off his signet ring, which he had taken from Haman, and he gave it to Mordecai. Over the house of Haman! When the king held out the golden scepter to Esther, Esther rose and stood before the king. She said, if it please the king, and if I have found favor in his sight, and if the thing seems right before the king, and I am pleasing in his sight, let an order be written to revoke the letters devised by Haman. can I bear to see the calamity that is coming to my people? How can I bear to see the destruction of my kingdom? Then King Ahasuerus said to Queen Esther and to Mordecai, behold, I have given Esther to the house of Haman. And they have hanged him on the gallows because he set his hand on the Jews. But you may write as you please with regard to the Jews in the name of the king and seal it with the king's ring. For an edict written in the name of the king and sealed with the king's ring cannot be revoked. The king's scribes were summoned at that time in the 3rd month, which is the month of Sivan, on the 23rd day, and an edict was written according to all that Mordecai commanded concerning the Jews, to the satraps and the governors and the officials of the provinces from India to Ethiopia. 127 provinces, to each province in its own script, and to each people in its own language, and also the Jews in their script and their language. And he wrote in the name of King Ahasuerus and sealed it with the king's signet ring. Then he sent the letters by mounted couriers riding off on swift horses that were used in the king's service, fresh from the royal stud, saying that the king allowed the Jews who were in every city to gather and defend for their lives, destroy, to kill, and to annihilate any armed force of any people or province that might attack them, children and women included, in the plunders of their goods. On one day throughout all the provinces of King Ahasuerus, on the 13th day of the 12th month, which is the month of Adar. A copy of it was written to be used to issue a decree in every province, being publicly displayed to all people, and the Jews were be ready on that day to take vengeance on their enemies. So the couriers, mounted on their swift horses that were used in the king's service, rode out hurriedly, urged by the king's command, and the decree was issued in Susa, the citadel. Then Mordecai went out from the presence of the king in a royal robe of blue and white, with a great golden crown, and a robe of fine linen and purple. And the city of Susa shouted and rejoiced. The Jews had light and gladness and joy and honor. And in every province, in every city, wherever the king's command and his elect preached, there was gladness and joy among the Jews, a feast and a holiday. And many from the people of the country declared themselves Jews for fear of the Jews had fallen on them. So many people had converted to Judaism. When this happened, many people converted to Judaism. Now, in the 12th month, which is the month of Adar, in the 13th day of the same, when the king's command and edict were about to be carried out, on that very day, when the armies of the Jews hoped to gain mastery over them, the reverse occurred. The Jews gained mastery over those who hated them. The Jews gathered in the cities throughout all the provinces of King Ahasuerus to lay hands on those who sought their harm. And no one could stand against them, for their fear of them had fallen on the people. And all the officials of the provinces, and the satraps, and the governors, and the royal agents also helped the Jews, for the fear of Mordecai had fallen on them. For Mordecai was great in the king's palace, and fame spread throughout all provinces. For the man Mordecai grew more and more powerful. The Jews struck all their enemies with the sword, killing and destroying them, and did as they pleased to those who hated them. In Susa, this is where you got to mix up. But that sounds like that they just went out and just murdered them.
But it says as the king.
Right. But what you don't, I don't know why they understand this translation, but it's when the other people came to kill him, because remember, every province already had an order, a decree signed by Haman and by the king to kill every Jew. So on the 13th, in one day this was wipe out all the Jews. And this decree that the king sent out through Mordecai said you have the right to defend yourself. So as they were being attacked, because these people were going to take their life, and so they were just defending themselves. As they were defending themselves, they didn't just go out and annihilate them. They were. I know. That very. Yeah, because they were fighting back. If they didn't, they wouldn't have done it. Yeah. So, and no one could stand against them. Okay, all the people, officials, province, governors, Mordecai was great in the king's house, and his fame spread throughout the provinces where the man Mordecai grew more and more powerful. The Jews, oh yeah, yay! The Jews struck all the enemies with the sword, killing and destroying them, and as they pleased to those who hated. As soon as the citadel itself, the Jews killed and destroyed 500 men, and also killed Parshadena and Dalphon and Aspeda and Porida and Adalia and Arditha and Kenethila and Arzia and Ardea and Vazina, the 10 sons of Haman, the 10 sons of Haman, the son of Hamidiah, the city of the Jews, but they laid no hand on the plunder. That very day, the number of those killed in Susa, the Sodel, was reported to the king. And the king said to Queen Esther, in Susa, the Sodel, the Jews have killed and destroyed 500 men, and also the 10 sons of Haman. When they have done what they have done in the rest of the king's province, now what is your wish? It shall be granted to you. And what further is your request? It shall be fulfilled. And Esther said, if it please the king, let the Jews who are in Susa be allowed tomorrow also to do according to the date, this day's edict. And let the 10 sons of Haman be hanged. The 10 sons of Haman be hanged in the gallows. So the king commanded them to be done. And through it to Susa, and the 10 sons of Haman, the Jews who were in Susa gathered also on the 14th day of the month of Purim. They killed 300 men in Susa, but they laid no hands on their plunder. Now the rest of the Jews who were in the king's provinces also gathered to defend their lives, and got relief from their enemies, and killed 75,000 of those who hated them, but they laid no hands on the plunder. This was the 13th day of the month of Adar, and on the 14th day they rested and made the day of feasting and gladness.
And those who hated
What?
they killed those who hated them.
Now the rest of the Jews who were in the king's province also gathered to defend their lives.
To defend their lives and kill those who hated them.
Yeah.
But they
Yeah.
So that's two different things.
No, it's not.
The ones who hated them were coming after them.
Hey, get away from that. Yeah, we're continuing the story. Okay. But the Jews were 13. Okay, so this was on the 13th day of the month of Adar, and on the 14th day they rested and made that today a feasting day. That's today, guys. Today is the 14th day of the month of Adar. So that's why we're having a feast today. That's why we're having a party. The story is about a celebration, having a party, okay? But the Jews who were in Susa gathered on the 13th day and also on the 14th and rested on the 15th, making that day of feasting and gladness. Therefore, the Jews of the village who lived in the rural towns hold the 14th day of the month of Adar as long as for gladness and feasting as a holiday, and on a day which they send gifts of food to one another. And as a day on which they send gifts of food to one another. Well, that's something else that should be done.
Yeah, I read that the other day. I forgot to mention it to you. You're supposed to give to the 14th.
Okay. All right. And Mordecai recorded these things and sent letters to all the Jews who were in all the provinces of King Ahasuerus, both near and far, obliging them to keep their 14th day of the month Adar, and also the 15th day of the same year by year, as the days on which the Jews got relief from the enemy, and as the month that had been turned for them from sorrow into gladness, and from mourning into holidays, that they should make them days of feasting and gladness, days for sending gifts of food to one another and gifts to the poor. Whoa, so let's do that next year. So the Jews accepted what they had started to do and what Mordecai had written for them. For Haman, the son of Haman, the enemy of the Jews, had fought against the Jews to destroy them and had cast Purim, that is, cast lots, to curse and destroy them. But when they came before the king, he gave orders and written that his evil plan that had been devised against the Jews should return on his own head, and that he and his sons should have hanged on the gallows. Therefore, they call these days Purim. That's what today is. We're having a celebration called Purim, the Feast of Purim. And that's because on this day they call it Purim, after the term pure. Therefore, because all of what is written in this letter and what had been faced in the matter and what had happened to them, the Jews firmly obliterated themselves and their offspring, and all who joined them, and without fail they would keep these 2 days according to what was written at the time appointed every year. That these days should be remembered and kept throughout every generation in every clan, province, and city. That these days of Purim should never fail to fall into disuse among the Jews, nor should the commemoration of these days cease among their descendants. Then Queen Esther, the daughter of Abimelech and Mordecai, the Jew, gave full written authority confirming the second letter about Purim. Letters were sent to all the Jews in 127 provinces of the king of Assyria in words of peace and truth, that these days of Purim should be observed as their appointed seasons, as Mordecai obligated them, and as they had obligated themselves and their offspring with regard to their fast and cleansing. The command of Queen Esther confirmed these practices of Purim and recorded in writing. Hey, get up. King Azariah imposed tax on the land and on the coastland in the sea, and all the acts of his power and might, and the full account of his honor of Mordecai, to which the king advanced him. Are they not written in the book of Chronicles, the king of Edom and Persia? For Mordecai, the Jew was sent to Abraham to King Azariah. He was great among the Jews, popular with the multitude of his brothers, and he sought the welfare of the people, and he spoke peace to all his people. That is the book of Esther. So it's a day of deliverance. Today is a celebration of a day that we are delivered from our enemies. Yay! No more enemies. We're set free. Today is the day we have a celebration about being free. Freedom. So that's what we are having today. The Feast of the Lord. Today of celebration.